Travel and tourism not quite back to those pre-pandemic levels, and many hotels are feeling the pain. It was just revealed the JW Marriott Chicago is facing a $231 million foreclosure lawsuit, said to be the biggest of its kind in foreclosure complaints against a Chicago hotel since the beginning of this pandemic. Some believe this foreclosure is a possible sign of distress for the downtown hospitality industry in general. But despite all of that, there is also some good news to talk about. We are joined by Michael Jacobson, President and CEO of the Illinois Hotel and Lodging Association. Michael, nice to see you again.
Hey, Sylvia, great to be back.
You know, we've been talking to each other since the pandemic. Oh my gosh, when you guys were at an all-time low, and I want to get to the good news in a minute. But let's address this JW Marriott issue and others. Right now in Chicago, the hotel industry is still trying to get back to normal. What's the situation like when you hear things about JW? Are we expecting to see more of this coming?
We are, unfortunately. And I think you mentioned JW. We also saw the Palmer House in the last week have their foreclosure lawsuit filed, one of our biggest hotels in the entire state. And unfortunately, I don't think it is the end. Even though you're seeing a lot more tourists come into the city and you're seeing our metrics rise over the summer, you can't make up for 2 years of losses at the rate they were with just one strong summer. So hotel owners are still in a world of hurt. And I think you're going to see many more foreclosures, because the thing that's important to remember is that we didn't get a federal dedicated source of support the same way other industries in hospitality did, like restaurants and airlines. So things are better, don't get me wrong,
right.
But it's still hard to make up for 2 years of damage.
Yeah, it's hard to hear about hotels like that in the Palmer House, the Hotel Felix, I am told also, the Holiday Inn Chicago, Magnificent Mile, just a few of the others facing foreclosure suits. So you were saying that, yeah, unfortunately, we're probably going to see more, but we're starting to climb a little bit. I want to talk about that. What is the biggest issue, though, right now facing hotels in 2022, would you say?
Absolutely, staffing. We are struggling to fill the jobs. We lost about 21,000 hotel jobs in the peak of the pandemic, and many of those are back. They're posted, but they're still not filled. And just as of this morning, there's 3,000 open positions just on Indeed, one website, just in the city of Chicago in our hotels.
Wow.
And one thing we're trying to get the word out is that a lot of people consider us dead-end minimum wage jobs, when that just simply isn't the case. Our starting wage at most hotels in the city right now is $23 an hour. 23 an hour. It's not even near minimum wage. And that doesn't even include a lot of the great benefits that are included, like healthcare and transit subsidies, free or discounted travel anywhere in the world, and even free meals in most of our hotels. Just this week, I had lunch in one of the employee cafeterias in one of our hotels. And not only did they get those meals for free, but the sense of camaraderie amongst those employees is something that you just don't realize when you walk in the front door of the hotel. So if you're looking for a career change, we have a career no matter what your interest level is.
Okay, let's talk about now as we end this here, the positive news, and that is that you guys are actually seeing an uptick in tourism. Tell me about that.
We are. So for the week between June 26th and July 2nd, it was actually the first week since the beginning of the pandemic that we actually saw our hotel occupancy rate exceed that same week's metric in 2019. So we were at 78% of all of our rooms were occupied during that week in 2022, compared to 66% in 2019. So it shows you that, especially because of leisure travel this summer, that's really what's driving our demand. And I think that's only going to increase with Lollapalooza coming up in a couple of weeks. That's really what's driving. What's still lagging is business travel and international travel to Chicago, but those are also increasing. So there's a lot of optimism out there. Hoteliers are excited to continue the recovery, and we're not quite at 2019 levels across the board, but we're certainly getting close. And frankly, it's a little faster than we had originally expected. Now, as long as we don't enter a recession, and of course, there's a couple headwinds like inflation and gas prices, but of course, we're still hopeful and very optimistic when we see numbers like we did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, let's get those business conventions back too. That will make a huge difference. And everybody, take a Chicago staycation. I love our hotels. So many great places to stay. Michael, always good to see you. I'm glad we're ending on a positive note. As I said, we have talked now for 2.5 years over this pandemic, and it's great to hear some good news. So you take care. Keep us posted.
It is. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.